Hello and welcome to the Many Savage Worlds podcast, a podcast dedicated to setting and world creation for the Savage Worlds role-playing game system. I'm Dan Cook. I'm joined by my hosts tonight, Nathan Carmen and John Myers. Unfortunately, Bobby may not be with us. He may be joining us in a little bit, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Sorry. So tonight we're going to be running episode 2.5. This is the second half of our urban fantasy series, I guess I'll call it. Last episode, we talked about creating an urban fantasy game or setting, and this week we're going to be running a 1-hour actual play. To give you a little background on the setting, in case you didn't see the episode, real quick. It was sort of a continuation of Middle Earth to present day, classic fantasy races. Magic had become outlawed, heavy opposition by the technology lobbyists as technology was able to advance to the place that magic was. Magic was sort of pushed off into these dedicated areas, like reservations, for lack of a better word. They're allowed to practice there freely. People can go there and receive magic services. You can get licensed to practice, or sort of like a license to carry for magic. It's all regulated by a government agency known as the Federal Bureau of Magic. And that's where we're going to meet our players. Our players are going to be agents for the Federal Bureau of Magic, and they're going to have some adventures this week. I'll be the GM for this session, and I will let my players tell you a little bit about their characters, and just going from one side to the other, since we only have two, though. We'll start with Nathan, if you'd like.
Yeah, so my character's name is Connor Stone. He is he comes from a long line of mages in his family. All of them have worked for the F.B.M. He does not have magic, though. He's never been able to really grasp it or understand it well. But he does have this innate ability to sense when danger is coming, a la the Danger Sense Edge. And so his family still sees his worth in the F.B.M. there, and they kind of pressure him into working there. So he understands magic, but he's not exactly in his ideal position either. John, if you want to... Sorry.
I'm sorry. Hi, my name's John Myers, and my character tonight is Timothy Older, or Tiger Older, I've been calling him. He is a young F.B.M. agent. He's got a good heart. He studied mostly investigating and solving crimes. Where he stands on magic is that it's something that he's always been able to do. So, of course, he's properly licensed. And he can do things like move things with his mind. He can see magical auras. And he can use his favorite trick is to use his lighter to set off a big flash, which will stun opponents when he's trying to arrest people, or stop a crowd from going crazy because somebody did something nuts. Tiger is his nickname because he likes golf. He rolls his own cigarettes, which are tobacco. And he has a weakness for conspiracies, which has earned him the prestigious office in the basement.
That's excellent. I love it. I love this. I didn't know that Tiger was going to be a golf reference. That's great.
I should mention, too, Connor is a half-elf, but he mostly looks human. Maybe slightly pointed ears. That's probably important.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, like I said, it's fantasy races. So we do have all the races, and we talked a little bit about like genealogy in the races. And if you want to know more about that, check out episode 2, the urban fantasy setting setup episode. While I'm saying check it out, make sure you check us out on iTunes. You can check us out on YouTube. We're also on Facebook and G+. You can find them all under the same moniker, the Many Savage Worlds Podcast. You can email us, the Many Savage Worlds Podcast @gmail.com. You can find us on Patreon now. And speaking of Patreon, this will be our last publicly available live episode. If anybody watches us live or would like to watch us live in the future, unfortunately, it's going to become a Patreon or a patron-only reward. Not going to cost you much, but check out the Patreon page, find out more. If you like the show, support us. Every little bit helps, covers the hosting costs at least. That's, but other than that, I guess we'll get right into it. I think that covers everything on this end. Yeah, so our players, they are agents of the F.B.M, Federal Bureau of Magic. They work in the investigative side. The F.B.M is a large government agency, and they do all kinds of different things. They have a strike force, task force. They have bureaucrats that are used, for the tracking of registered magic and renewal of licenses, going down to the reservations. They probably have some liaison positions throughout the community. But we find our two agents, they work in investigations. We're going to start off with our agents get a call that someone's being brought in, and they need to come down for an interrogation. Since we have just the two, we'll say you guys have probably worked together in the past, maybe not permanent partners, but a position that, you may have sort of like a revolving door on who works with who. Let me see my notes here. Yeah, so you guys get a phone call that somebody was arrested with some unlicensed magic devices, and you've been asked to come down to the interrogation room to figure out what you can find out about that, because unlicensed magic devices is a big deal. Somebody made them, or maybe the person who was caught is making them and trying to sell them. And, smuggling and transporting of unlicensed magic is a federal offense at this point in time. So you get a little bit briefing. They tell you that the person who was caught is part of a motorcycle gang, an outlaw gang. They're known as the Warlocks, ironically, and they have close ties to the magic community, although not necessarily part of any reservation, but they do have a long history of magic device smuggling and supporting the magic revolution, I guess. There's a lot of people fighting to get magic back into the mainstream. So if the players, you guys would be brought down to an interrogation room, and you would find a gentleman there, probably handcuffed to a table, not being treated very nicely. And yeah, so I don't know who would like to take lead. I'm not sure who would. If you guys can both.
Do we have a file on him? What's his name?
Yeah, so you would have some information on him. He is. I wrote it down. Hold on 1 second. I'm not very organized.
Any priors in his record?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he would have some offenses that you would know about, and it would be a lot of kind of standard stuff for this sort of thing. Some smuggling charges, unlicensed magic device charges. So he's probably done some time in and out of jail.
A low-level maneuver kind of thing.
Yeah. So you guys would know that for the crew, he is the sergeant in arms. So that is a ranked position in the gang, but not top of the food chain. But usually it's like an enforcer position. They're known for keeping order amongst their ranks. But of course, they're not above going out there and breaking the law, obviously, as he was caught red-handed. And his name is Albert Knickerbocker, but he goes by Snake.
That's amazing. All right. I'm all about that. All right. So when we come into this interrogation room, is there one-way glass, one-way mirror?
Yeah. So if you guys were to you'd be able to look in from the hallway through one-way glass, and then if you were inside the room, of course you wouldn't be able to see out. But yes, you would know that there's somebody out monitoring through the glass.
What does this gentleman look like?
Probably dirty. Beard, long unkempt hair. He's probably wearing like a MC like vest with like all the patches and like t-shirt underneath. Let's see. I put you guys in Milwaukee.
Okay.
We'll say summer. Nice weather. I don't know why they have a local branch in Milwaukee, but Milwaukee has one of the country's largest magic reservations due to its abundance of open land and abandoned steel mills.
Okay.
Yeah, steel mills.
So looking at this gentleman, I'm gonna look over at Tiger and I'm gonna. Oh boy. All right. Do you want to take lead on this one? And he'll kind of hesitantly look back. He's a little cautious by nature. So.
And I'm sort of flipping through his file. File to flip through.
I'll be like, that's good. That's smart. Yep, do that. That's good.
You want to? Oh, hold on a second. I'm gonna reach into my jacket and pull out my Beretta. My Beretta.
Yeah.
Put it down on the table, and then ask him if he wants to smoke. You want to smoke?
Okay, so you're going right in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I'll follow behind, and he puffs out his chest and tries to stand tall. He's fairly new to the job, so.
All right. So, have either of you ever had a run-in with Snake? You tell me.
Yes. Which is why he's hesitant here, because.
Do I pick up on that? I think I do.
All right. Let's see. So
looks like Nathan is frozen.
Yeah, a little bit. I didn't know if it was on my end or not. I've been having some connective issues as well. Oh, I got two Nathans.
Hey,
you've got a frozen twin.
Yeah, I do. He's stuck. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know. I just got kicked off there.
It's a backlash.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure it'll drop at some point.
Hopefully.
Does he take my smoke?
Yeah. He's like, yeah, thanks, suit, and he'll take it.
Then I'll take the gun, put it right in front of his face. Click. A little lighter.
Probably. Hey, look, that's not funny.
What I was gonna say is,
I'll wink at him.
Connor knows him, but this guy accidentally got away. Well, he got away from Connor previously, so he's kind of like hiding his face and kind of ashamed and embarrassed that this guy escaped him like on his first it was like his first assignment. So he's kind of like hanging back.
All right. Yeah, so he sees you walk in and he sort of gives you a sly look, and he knows because they're always kind of giving the slip to probably the bureau, especially, but local law enforcement and.
So what were the items that he was caught with?
He was caught with. They're not sure. It's up with the lab. So before you guys go in, if you asked, they would have told you that the device he was found with was a small cube with some inscriptions on it, and they use a lot of like detect magic to root out stuff like this at checkpoints and whatnot. So he was found, and they don't know what it is yet. They sent it to the lab. So somewhere in the main headquarters, they have a lab where they send up, whatever and whatnot. And pardon me. So we're waiting for a response onto what it would do. He didn't say. So part of your job to see if you can shake it from him, what it will do. And I'm just going to give me 1 second.
Uh-oh.
1 second.
Yeah. See, I'm trying to see if my character has Intimidate. Oh no, he doesn't. I didn't give him Intimidate.
I got this awful cold, but I didn't want to blow my nose on camera. I didn't think anybody would appreciate that. I figured I would just drop the mic and camera real quick. Yeah, so we're gonna run this first scene as a social conflict, I think, because I kind of like the idea of exploring some of the rules to help speed up the play. But we'll have one person take lead. And, social conflict, we're going to run it with persuasion. Well, we could I'll allow actually any social skill, really, because you guys are sort of in a position to have the upper hand.
I've got persuasion, and
Okay.
I'll start with saying, well, I'm gonna kind of allude to the fact that he's had a relationship with the F.B.M. in the past, and I'm kind of getting the feeling that this time he wanted to get caught because he's just too good to get caught most of the time. And the reason he wanted to get caught is because it's got something to do with that cube. You have a conscience, and you really want to warn us.
There's an
All right.
audible sigh of relief from Connor in the back as he realizes, oh, he was just too good. It's not my fault he got away last time.
Well, I convinced Connor.
Pardon me. I would also allow, I'm not sure how the rules are written on this, but if Connor wanted to assist, you could make a persuasion or interrogate or intimidate.
So I have neither of those.
Okay.
I also have a -2 charisma. I was thinking, though, maybe if he has, like, well, if he wanted to try to play bad cop here, I could always, maybe if I had, like, some kind of pocket knife or something, he's kind of twirling it in his fingers and looking, trying to, I guess, well, no, that'd be intimidate. I was going to say I can make a fighting roll, but, like, that'd still be intimidate.
Yeah, I mean, I can let you stab him, but I don't think that's really where we're at just yet. I mean, you can make the intimidate. The only way I would penalize you guys if you hit a critical failure. It's up to you. I mean, that is kind of a long shot with the untrained -4, I guess.
Yeah, it'd be a -4. I'll give it a try. Well, I mean, it makes sense for how timid the character is so far. So, yeah, I'll go ahead and give it a try. And he just says, "That's right. You're just a little too good." And, but he kind of like tries to make it look like he doesn't believe it. He's like, it's like sarcasm essentially. But it's probably going to come off like, not sarcasm. Oh, hey, aced 6.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, so he was giving you this dirty look when you guys came in, and he was sort of, you could see him making eyes at you because he knew he had the upper hand on Connor, was it?
Yes.
And then you sort of like hit him with this, like, yeah, because you're just too good, right, Snake? As he's sitting handcuffed to a table, right. And it kind of gets him right at the right moment. So I will award the +1 for John,
nice.
For Tiger, and yeah, if you want to roll, and then I will, I'll have him roll opposed, and we'll see how that goes for us.
Okay, quick question. Does the -1 charisma from my smoking take effect? Since right now he's actually partaking as well.
You know what? I suppose it wouldn't, right? I mean,
right, so I don't get a penny. Let's see. I got a 4 + 1 is a 5.
All right. And he got I dropped the dice right off my table. Let's try that one more time. He got a 3. So that's 1 success for you. All right. And yeah, so you give him the cigarette, you lean in, you're being nice but not overly nice, and you guys have to build a repertoire. We'll just scoot right on down to this. So it's gonna be 3 round for the social conflict. And we're just gonna, why don't we just muscle right through it more or less? Yep. I hate to breeze over the role play; it's such an important part. But with our time constraints, we'll get to what we know, and then we can kind of loop back to what was said.
So I could walk all the way up to that lab and look at the stupid little cube myself and concentrate real hard, but I don't want to do that, and you don't want me to do that either. Ooh, aced it.
Oh, so did I.
Aced again.
Uh-oh.
23.
Dang.
Wow. I got a 9. So 15 over me. So that is
5, 6, 7.
3. Yeah, that's okay. Well, let's get the last one done so we can find out how much information he just blabs all over the table for you. I don't think I could possibly turn this one around at this point.
I imagine that what he says, like he does it in such a chilling way that kind of takes a step back and just kind of like, okay, just gonna let him do his thing right now.
See, I imagined Connor like behind him, like looking over his shoulder, like, yeah.
I think in most situations, but it kind of freaked him out too.
No,
He's
yeah.
like, oh gosh, what can this guy do?
I just got this image of Tiger just being this like menacing, like, and then Connor's like a little hype man, like,
Yeah.
All right. So his last persuasion, I rolled a 1. So I think you can beat that.
I think I can beat. I got a 6.
All right. So that gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 successes. And for people that are listening, and maybe just a quick overview of the rules without getting too heavy into it. There's margin of victory rules for the social conflict, and the top tier is 5+, which is what we are in, and it is the target is sure of his decisions. He provides more support than requested. If it's a court case, maximum penalty. It's not. So pretty much he just spills everything you could possibly ask for. So let's see what he spills. And I had some notes, and just to get them fresh in my head again, because it's been a couple days since I wrote them up. And so the last thing that you said that we'll kind of go back to the role play for a quick little couple minutes. You said like, oh, I'll go up to the lab, I can check the box myself, but you don't want me to do that. And so he probably knows about you, Tiger. I imagine that being like the weird like mage that like works in the basement. You probably have a reputation, especially where the warlocks are a bigger thorn in the side of the bureau. So
they're a conspiracy.
So he says, no, I know you don't have to go up there. Well, listen, the lab's going to send the results down soon anyways. I'll just tell you right now. It's a bomb. It was going to blow up. And it's only a matter of time before you find out anyways. I was just transporting. You guys know, the club, we don't build that shit. It's not our bread and butter.
Who are you bringing the bomb to?
You know that new train they're opening up down in downtown, that new platform station?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed to be. You heard about that? It was supposed to be the transport, the magic public transportation. You get in, it transports you to the other pad. It's going to change the game for the mages. And what they do, they put in another goddamn train. Well, somebody wanted us to put a stop to that.
Interesting. Do you know who?
Well, I really shouldn't tell you. They're probably gonna kill me. But that's if you guys don't throw me in jail for the rest of my damn natural life, anyways. But Chief Ravenclaw over at the reservation, he's the one. A lot of the young guys are into all that revolutionary terrorism shit, but you don't usually see the chief come out and get involved.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, and I know it's going through the reservation and everything, but it's going to have a lot less chance of making an awful mess when it goes through. Some people.
I lagged a little bit. I lost a little bit of that, but
I just rolled an 11 knowledge arcana. Is this kind of cube, is this kind of device something we would have heard about before? Like that I would have possibly known about before?
Yeah. So with him saying that, you can make a guess. And when he mentions the chief, so you guys know the chief he's like it works somewhat on like a more of a tribal, like they have elected leadership, like, but it's like for life appointment. So the chief has been in charge of the reservation for a long time. He is, we'll say he's an elf, and he's been there for like at least 100 years already running this stuff. And he is known for being an extremely potent mage. So you could probably give a fair guess, or Connor could give a fair guess that this is more or less probably just a blast cube, more, however you want to call it, but not so overly complex. But they can pack a mean punch. They have some serious potential. And you guys have probably seen some of these things, like as I alluded, the younger guys in the reservation, they get involved with like these acts of domestic terrorism, and you see all kinds of weird stuff. They blow stuff up, and they like summon like different things, and they unleash magical like creatures that they like wrangle up out of like God knows where and have them shipped over, and then like unleash them on downtown like Godzilla.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, so your guess would probably be like, oh, okay, we're looking at a, blast cube, but to what potency, you wouldn't really know. But if he's mentioning the chief's name, it's concerning.
Okay. So we're talking bigger than a grenade blast here.
Yes. So as this is going on, you guys have your supervisors out watching through the one-way glass, and you hear the knocking on the glass, like somebody, calling you out from the room.
I'll pull my cigarette out really fast.
Well, I don't think anybody's gonna stop Tiger from smoking.
All right, I'll start headed towards the door, and I'll say, "We'll be back." And I'll like look over at him and point and say, "Don't go anywhere this time." And then like,
hey, Chief, he's cooperating.
So you guys come out, and you're greeted by a superior. I don't know what rank structure they would use, but a lieutenant, let's say. That's pretty universal across everything. And he says, all right, listen, guys, the chief, the reservation, the terrorists, this is unbelievable. The train, I mean, Jesus, the unveiling is in like an hour. You guys know that, right? Like, it's tonight. You guys are stuck at work. I know you're not going, and it's a train, big deal, but politically speaking, it's a really big deal. It's supposed to be a transport. It's a mess. I can't believe this is happening right now. My ulcers, they're bleeding currently. I need to go lay down. Jesus. All right, listen, I'm gonna send out another team over to the reservation. They'll shake down the chief. But you guys, can you guys please? There's no way he was the only guy bringing this thing down there. I mean, he's an idiot. Look at him. He probably can't even spell his own damn name. Somebody else is involved.
And we know Ravenclaw is often very serious about whatever he gets involved in, so he's going to have a plan B. This was the plan C that we caught, so we definitely have to go see what the heck is going on.
Right.
Oh God, Tiger, you're right. This is the diversion. They're already 10 steps ahead of us, aren't they? I can't do it. I need to retire. Am I? Oh my God, I can't.
Don't worry, Chief. We'll handle it. You stay here, and we'll see what we can do.
I'm gonna go lay down in my office. You guys call me if you need me. All right? I can't do this anymore. And he just like wanders away, like shaking and like holding his head, like, oh my God, the ulcers, and she's like yelling out, like, Sharon, give me some Pepto-Bismol.
Well, maybe the stress is a little too much for the chief. You might want to consider retirement. I'll basically borderline. Walking as fast as I can in the office.
And I'll be in tow. I'll be right back. My dog, 2 seconds.
Yeah, so give it a little like flash forward. You guys would probably go down to the motor pool. You would have either assigned vehicles. You'd be able to just check one out on demand. Go see like a motor pool clerk and just like. You guys head down to the motor pool, sign the requisition forms, standard gear. We talked a little bit about gear before the show started, and it's all, because you're an agency, it's all standard issue stuff. And we had talked about Kevlar, so it would be available. It would probably be like in the back. You see like when they pull up in those like big like Chevy Suburbans, they open up the back and they have like the mega, the bullhorn and vests, and everything they might need. And of course, you'd have like your sidearms, or did everyone just take standard pistol, or was there anything? Did anybody? I didn't even check. I probably should have.
Yep, I got the pistol just in case in my the spare ankle holster, and of course my Beretta lighter is actually what's in my side holster.
Yeah, I was just planning on taking like a pretty standard pistol. I mean, the Desert Eagle looked intriguing, but I mean, I figured that the most standard pistol would be the best. So
yeah,
sure. And I think that would probably be standard issue. Would be like a Glock, or like the Sig 9 is another one used by law enforcement. I think. I'm not really a big gun guy, but they're all the same in Savage Worlds, anyways. 2d6 plus 1 or nothing. So you guys get yourselves together. It looks like Bobby had joined us for a minute, and he dropped back out, and
the only
we'll
thing
just keep on rolling.
is a Kevlar jacket to throw on, since there might be some bomb blast going on.
Yeah, flak jacket. Yeah, throw a flak jacket on real quick and
all right,
get in the car.
Who is going to drive?
Oh.
See, I didn't think this through clearly because I did not give myself driving.
I'm an investigator, but heck, why not?
Yeah, I don't think either of us have like.
Yeah. No, I didn't really prep you guys on what to expect. But maybe it's just an innocent drive. Maybe nothing will happen on the way.
So, do we know where to go? The best place to position ourselves to start looking for this thing.
Yeah, I mean, you know where the event. So, he said you guys got about an hour. I'm not more than like a 20 to 25-minute drive. You guys will get there before like any official ceremony starts.
Okay.
You can't expect the crowd to be there, but not huge because it's an unveiling of like a public transportation thing. Mostly like the mayor and some like people will snap some pictures, and maybe some upper level, like the governor might show up since you're in a major city.
Actually, I think I want Connor to drive because I'm going to open up my laptop and start doing some research about what Ravenclaw is more likely to hit. Would it be the crowd or the train itself?
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll start driving like just in that general direction, like towards the subway, or I'm guessing it's a subway. So I'll start driving there.
Don't use your Waze. The Waze.
Wait, what?
Your app.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Not the mystical Waze. I mean the app.
Let's there's construction everywhere.
All right. Now, would this be an investigation roll that I'm doing?
Yeah. So you can roll some investigation and
a 5.
All right. So let's see. I had a reference chart somewhere. I need a bigger notebook. These pages are just not small enough to hold all my scribblings. So you find out you pull up some files, some stuff. You know that the history of the terrorist attacks, kind of stuff I alluded to already. I'll say you find it. You know that more than likely they're going to hit a structural thing because what they want to do is undermine, like, the actual public transportation system, the train, as opposed to they don't want to set a bad public image by killing tons of people and setting back their own agenda. And as we take off driving, we leave. We hit the highway. Probably just a couple miles down the highway. So it's only a 20-minute drive.
I'll radio local law enforcement to let them know that they should be checking out the tracks, anything under the track, anything over the track, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'm just driving, probably muttering things to myself, yelling at people to get out of the way.
All right. So as you make it onto the highway, give me a notice. You guys can both do it.
Oh, hey, cool. I have a good notice. Hey, that's something I have. All right.
Playing into your strong hand.
Yeah.
This isn't my strongest one.
Oh, snake eyes. No, thank you.
Oh, my 4 aced. So, oh, and it aced again. These dice are cheap.
I aced as well.
11.
13.
Oof.
Wow. All right, so we got some big rolls. Yeah,
I
so you guys
have alertness too, so.
I should take a -2 since I'm actually reading the laptop while I'm noticing.
That's fine. That still puts you at a raise. But I was thinking there should be at least a -1 for that. But yeah, that's fair. So as you guys get onto the highway, you hear and see in the mirrors a bunch of motorcycles coming up. Half a dozen in total. And
Nice.
They sort of like start to surround like a box pattern around you guys. And they're menacing, but they haven't done anything just yet. Are you guys just gonna keep your cool and keep driving?
Well, so okay, would this be a time where danger sense might come into play here? Like
Sure.
picking up whether or not this is more than, I mean, obviously it's kind of threatening as it is.
It's intimidating to say the least. Yeah, roll danger sense. This is a perfect time for it.
I've used 2 pennies.
Oh, I got them.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna try again. Okay. Yeah, so a 5 there.
All right. Yeah, so that's a success, and I gave it a quick breeze over. I'm not super familiar with it, but I think just on a success, you still find out more or less. So, yeah. Is it like a premonition, or is it just a tingling feeling?
Yeah, so I think that's trappings. How I picture it is like a feeling in the pit of his stomach that he's just like learned to listen to.
So his stomach does not feel very good.
Okay.
He's nervous, and he gets the impression things are about to go sour.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna say, all right, Tiger, you might want to get that gun out, and then I'll say, I've learned to trust my instincts. You probably should too. And I probably still have the siren blaring, but I will like kind of gesture to the cyclist nearest me, kind of like a back off kind of gesture, to see if he'll at least pay attention, like move to the side.
Do I see weapons coming out from the riders on the motorcycles, or?
Well, as Connor starts to wave off the cyclist, the biker on the driver's side, because I imagine you're riding shotgun.
I'm driving.
Right. No, I mean,
sorry.
Tiger.
Sorry.
Yeah. So like out the driver's side window, you're waving off this guy, and he gives you a dirty look. And as this happens, he pulls out a pistol that he fires into the side of the vehicle.
Crap! Just immediately crap, and then like start.
Now, I imagine these vehicles are probably pretty heavily secured, a little reinforced,
right?
Body style, and he's shooting off an unstable platform. So I'm not actually going to roll for damage. It's more of just a dramatic effect that he just takes a shot off into the door. And but what we're going to do now is we are going to do a quick chase. Well, we have the option. If we want to outrun them, we could do a chase. If we want to, I mean, I guess it's really up to you guys how you would want to handle this. You could try to mow them all down, and we still might do that as a chase. But you guys tell me what you want to do, and then we'll decide mechanically what to do with it.
I don't have I should have had driving because I'm pretty agile. I think my instinct, honestly. So they're boxed us in completely?
Not in the front.
Just in the front?
No, not in the front. So you have them down the sides and then to the rear still.
Because honestly, my instinct is to hit the brake and let the guys in the back go flying over us.
Okay.
That's kind of, and then let them go ahead. And then we've got a good shot, in front of us. We've got clear line of sight on them. I mean, I'm probably not going to try to shoot out the front while driving, but I might. We'll see.
Do you think my Beretta stun power will get through the windshield without too much problem?
That comes down to a trapping issue. So,
Yeah.
um,
Can you like pop out the side of the window?
You could do that if you can get me a good view, or I could do that. Roll down the window, lean out.
Here we go. Here we go. Here's a terrible driving stunt I should not try.
Yeah.
Hit the brake and swerve to the side so that the passenger is now like looking out. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And then what I would do is aim my Beretta out them and trigger that flash of light, which will hopefully stun most of them.
All right.
John, you don't have common bond, do you? You want to share some of those?
I wish I did.
Share some of those bennies?
This is gonna hurt.
You know what, Nathan? I'm gonna give you one Benny extra for trying some like crazy driving.
My group calls that a pity Benny.
No, it's the rule of cool because like slamming the brakes and like power sliding sideways as John like shoots out the window. It's very John Woo.
So what's funny is, so this guy is very cautious, right? So he's gonna say, "Make sure you're buckled," and like hit the brake. Hit the brake.
What? I got a black jacket.
Yeah, here we go. Oh no. Okay.
Now it's a reverse template. Is there any way for me to like spend an extra point to make it a little larger? I'm assuming he's gonna work. It's gonna work.
You said it's a medium.
Yep.
I'm not. Let me just take a look.
No, we can settle that. I'll just let's see if Nathan gets us killed.
Yeah, I aced on a friggin' notice roll, and then I get this 2 here, so which is not a success. So hopefully I at least hit the guys I'm braking. Like, oh gosh, they're probably stuck under the wheels or something awful.
This is horrible.
Yeah,
I froze a little bit. What was your result? Sorry, I got all the
you got it.
All right.
With a Benny.
So
Benny.
You slam the brakes. The only problem is that you don't quite slide the way you expect it to.
Yeah.
He like cuts the wheel, but then he like goes to correct because he thinks and he's just sort of skipping back and forth in the lane, and he ends up still facing straight ahead.
Okay.
The bikers all whip around you.
Are they still ahead of us?
So they're all ahead of you now, 6 of them, but they would probably. You're on a highway. I don't think they're gonna stop.
Right.
So one of them does.
Okay.
One of them he's probably like the low man on the totem pole, and they're like, no, like you do this. So they all whip off ahead of you guys, and one guy stops and he turns around and he's going to open fire, and I am gonna give him the unstable platform still because he's not standing on solid ground, even though he's not moving anymore. And he failed horribly, so he puts it into like the engine block of the truck. And with that said, they just sort of speed off after, and he's not gonna want to be, sitting the only one left on the highway to get mowed down by you guys. So they made their.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Pure intimidation.
Show of force.
You skipped there a second, Dan. I don't know if I missed anything important.
No, probably not. I was just saying that they make their show of force, and then they
leave.
Yeah, and they just take off down the highway.
So I'll turn and say, "Well, we must be on the right trail here. If they're coming at us," and then I'll say, "Should we follow them?" And then I'm like, my hands are visibly shaking on the wheel. But he's like trying to put on a face here. Should we follow him?
No. We got to go to the train. But I'm going to radio ahead to local law enforcement, let them know that they might have some warlocks coming in.
Okay.
Be on the lookout.
Right. And then like, okay, yeah, good. That's probably good. All right. And I'll just like.
I watch too many cop shows.
Yeah, he'll start driving to where he needs to where he
Maybe
needs.
Tiger will even say that.
All right. Yeah. So
good job.
we'll move on right past this. So you guys make it the rest of the way without incident. You pull up. You get there. There's a little bit of a crowd drawn already. You see some of the people, the governor and the mayor are up. There's a little stage set up, podium, microphone. They're going to make a little, press release statement. There's some media gathered already, but it's not a big turnout. It's not such a big event that there's not a lot of civilians there.
I want to slip in past the media.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want them. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So there's there's local law enforcement there already, just because it is like a public event with politicians. So there's probably like 2 squad cars with like 2 officers each, like 4 cops, like just milling around. I mean, not doing anything in particular, just there to have like their presence known. And they may have been tipped off about like what happened, but I imagine the Bureau would keep it somewhat hush hush. Yeah, I feel like the Bureau is kind of like the FBI. Like, we don't answer to anybody but us.
Right.
So like they probably didn't tell the local cops that much, but they're there. There's a few of them.
I got to talk to
you guys don't seem so out of place.
Okay. All right. So a 5 notice. I'm specifically looking for anyone that looks suspicious, like as we walk in.
I will do my detect magic.
Okay.
As we break the scene, and I'll be scanning people as well as things up, things down, and the train.
Sure. So as you roll that, Nathan, you're looking around. You don't see anybody. You don't see anybody from like the bikers or anybody who looks like too suspiciously out of place.
Okay.
So that's a good sign. Okay. I'm just going to give a quick read over the detect. Oh, here it is. Excuse me.
John, the way my rolls are turning out, this is turning into like a funny buddy cop movie.
Yeah.
Which is fine, because I love Rush Hour and stuff like that. So.
We had a good plan.
Yeah, we had a good plan. I just had no driving skill, so that's fine. Next time I'm in a modern setting, driving.
That's true.
Taking it.
All right, let's see this. All right, so I'm reading the description right now, the detect Arcana, and it says it can be used to detect people, items, weird science devices, etc., which would technically fall into the category of. So I'm guessing that you would probably get like some sort of like aura you'd be able to see. That's my understanding of how the detect part of it would work. At least it's really vague, but I mean, it's mostly left up to interpretation.
Or something.
Or you hear like a really squeaky voice, like, I'm over here, and it like just like you hone in on it. Yeah. So what was your dice roll? Sunk in my book.
8 plus 11 altogether.
Okay. So that's a raise. So you definitely going to.
I should have taken Wizard. It would have been almost free.
Yeah, you find the podium is set up. The little like portable stage is set up right in front of the like loading platform, and you see the aura glowing, not from under the stage, but like right behind it, which would be the tracks, but like right where everyone's going to be like for the ceremony, and you can sort of see this.
Is it the back of the stage itself?
It's down, like on the. Your guess is it's probably like down on the actual track parts.
So I'll let Connor know, and let's go take a look.
Okay. And I may have missed this. Is there a crowd? I don't know if I.
No. I may have said it. I may not have. No. So there's like some like reporters, a couple like news crews set up. Couple cops, and there's probably a few onlookers, but very, very small crowd. I mean, there's, including the politicians who are going to speak and the police officers, probably like a dozen people there.
Okay.
Acella's got to work on its PR.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. Then I'll follow. I'll go right along and he's just kind of looking around.
We'll head down to the track and I'll just kind of like jump down there myself because, I'm Tiger Older, and I'm nearly fearless.
Sure. Yeah, so you guys get right up on it, and then again, there's no opposition because you guys are,
We got our
very
back.
official and belong there, and the local cops don't mess with the bureau. You guys hop down, and you probably saw a picture of the cube since you didn't go up to the lab and actually physically see it, but you probably had like a maybe even when you were like on the laptop checking the files. But you found an image of it at some point throughout the investigation. And what you find physically, the original cube was it was square, but it was about the size of a deck of cards.
Yep.
The one that you just found is the size of like a car battery.
Oh.
Substantially bigger. And it's sort of tucked in. You find it behind an access grate. Now it was removed and then like resecured very poorly. You're able to get right to it. Somebody like hand tightened the screws back down, and
Okay.
Screwdriver.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he kind of just looks at it and goes, "Well, that's not good. All right." He'll start looking around a little more, kind of nervously, and then I'll roll knowledge arcana.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Stone, you study this stuff more than I do. Can you?
Yeah. So he'll say, "Well," he'll kind of like think about it for a second. Yeah, I know nothing. I missed my rolls from last time. The last game I was getting 14.
Yeah, so you look at it and you're like, yeah, that's magic.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be like, yep, I know a lot more. It is magical.
It's the great off of it.
Yeah. And then I'm guessing it functions similarly to the last one, but bigger.
Yeah, so with that roll, I mean, you don't really know anything specifically, but that's a fair assessment that it looks very similar to the other one. It has some of the same markings. It's probably a little different, but you see the similarities.
So, like, being as cautious as I am, I'll just say, probably wouldn't touch it. It could have a touch trigger, or a number of awful things.
I gotcha. If I get a screwdriver, I'm going to start working the grate off, and I'm going to tell Connor to look around for a place for me to move this thing to, someplace away from people.
Right.
Preferably.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you happen to see a biker gang,
Right. So a success. 6. So a success.
Yeah, so you're able to get it off. You're able to where to put it.
Do I have a place to move it to?
That is the real question. How?
What I'm thinking is I'm going to stand back and concentrate and telekinesis it out of there.
Okay.
And then to wherever.
How much space does Tiger think he needs to make this safe? Because you could put it away from a crowd. Now you're in a downtown area more or less, but you may be able to find like a parking lot. You could sit in the middle of a parking lot. The worst you would do is damage like some like infrastructure, but loss of life and personal property would be minimized. Or, I mean, I don't know the stats on telekinesis. You could fly it up into the air and hold it like.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking. And the range is smarts of D8. So 40 feet.
Okay.
Or thereabouts, depending on if you're doing 5 inches or the 6 inch or the 6 foot per inch rule.
Right, depending on their awful distance rules. I usually use 5 for simplicity, but since
I do too.
but I think every foot counts right now. So 48. So you could fly it 48 feet up. You'd be able to hold it there, and then.
Yeah, but it's got that duration thing that we have to worry about.
Yeah, the one thing that I'm worried about here is, have you seen Age of Ultron? Because this doesn't work out for Scarlet Witch. Tosses that bomb up, man. That bites him in the butt.
Okay, here goes the roll, and have we found a spot, Connor? I'm leaving it up to your notice.
Okay. Yeah, so I got a 6 notice, so it's a success at least.
Okay.
Looking around.
Give me a in conjunction with the notice roll. Give me a knowledge arcana.
Yeah.
One more.
Hey, 8.
All right, that's excellent. So you are looking around for a safe place to put this. You're thinking about like, okay, the blast radius and what these things can do in the magical force and the permeation and this and that and blah blah blah. And you're crunching all the numbers, and you come up with the plan that if you were to put it inside something that could contain the blast, and you just have to rack your brain, you know, what materials could do it. And we're going to say that based on what you know about Magic Blast, what you know about like the sort of the style that the tribe uses, if this were set down inside solid steel, it probably would not be able to permeate, or at least not like abundantly. And you find a, not the hatch that was found in the service hatch with like the grate over it, because that was very flimsy, like air duct work, but you find a maintenance hatch.
Okay.
A little further down the train tracks, but you sort of spot it. You see like the handle and like the warning sign on it. And you think that if this is locked inside that maintenance hatch, even if it does detonate, it may not be able to blow past the steel door.
Okay. Well then, yeah, I'll relay that, and I will run to that hatch and like pop it open.
All right. He's got the hatch open. I extend my hand.
If I need to make an agility roll for this, I do have acrobat, so
I have a success, but I have a backlash.
oh,
All right.
I can Benny that.
I think that's probably wise.
I guess I'll Benny. Yeah. I start to sweat. And no, staying with. Well, I'll Benny one more. What the heck? This is a key thing. My dice were doing so well. All right, we're gonna stick with the success, but with a backlash.
Okay. Backlash. We talked a little bit about backlash.
Oh no, yeah, we did.
That's one thing I meant to mention in the pre-show, and I forgot all about it.
We were doing the psionics backlash for magic.
Yes.
Well, we're all dead.
Yeah, more or less. I just have to find it because I can't remember the numbers off the top of my head. I should have written it down.
Page. I have to zoom in. Page 119.
Thank you.
Brain burn.
Just sounds cool when you say it like that.
Oh, it happens on a critical failure.
Or you when a psionics character rolls a 1 on a psionics die, regardless, you're automatically shaken.
Okay.
So you're shaken. You did not roll a critical failure. You only rolled the 1 on the on the magic die.
All right.
So what happens is like I kind of stagger and I'm stunned as this like bluish energy is kind of like coursing through me. But since success, the thing will come out of the hole and just kind of like fly pell-mell crazy in the direction of the
eyes wide as I'm holding this hatch open. Crap! Like, one more time.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. And you know what? As this thing goes whipping down the train, because so the surface hatch, I imagine, is like down the tracks, maybe like 10 or 15 feet further away than where you guys like had initially started. And I don't know. So it's like well, I mean, it's a train station with it's just open tracks that go off. I sort of imagined like I don't know, Nathan, you're not from this area, but like John, you may have been to Boston. Like the BU, like where the subway comes up above ground, and then it just like sinks back down. I imagine something like that, where the subway's above ground, but it just sinks in as you go further down. But yeah, so this thing goes whipping down the train tracks 10 or 15 feet. It's moving way too fast. And it's like a fastball coming right. And now you're standing with the hatch open between you and this device. What I want you to roll is agility. What you're going to do is when this thing hits, you're just going to slam the lid down on top of it.
Right. Come on, baby. 7.
Nice. All right. Yeah. So it comes flying in. It hits the hatch. I mean, full speed. You pretty much throw yourself, like, just belly flop onto it. And the impact was just enough to set this thing off. And you hear it, you feel, you probably get like a nice, like, bump.
Yeah.
You're not wounded. You're probably not even shaken. Thanks to the notice and the knowledge and the getting rid of this thing. And yeah, so you guys have successfully dealt with the bomb. Now what I will say is I have one more thing I was going to throw at you guys, but we're 10 minutes past 9. I'll put it up to the group. We can try to do it as quick as possible, or we can shut it down as a success.
We can do it as quick as possible.
All right.
I don't think
drama,
All right.
I do
so,
at 8 o'clock, but that's all right.
This time flies by. I'll say 1 hour is not. I don't know how Bobby did it. Hat off to him for.
It does, yeah. Oh, you're frozen.
You guys hear me? Okay.
Yep.
I was frozen for a minute there. I saw my face got all weird. Well, weirder than it usually is. So as you guys set off the bomb,
I almost said that. I honestly almost teased you there, and
you guys, you hear the motorcycles revving up.
Uh-oh.
And they come rolling in. And what we're gonna do for this last little bit is we're gonna run a mass combat, and we have 4 local law enforcement agents. And we have 2 agents from the bureau. And we're going to have a group of bikers that come in. We're going to say 10 bikers. I'm going to give them the advantage.
Well, fighting shooting are my thing, so.
Stack up my little tokens here for my mass battle, which I have to say I've never run because... Again, my regular game is a zombie game, and there's just not much room for mass battle because the groups just aren't big enough to support it on both sides. But mass battle, if you guys aren't familiar, as I was not until today when I brushed myself up on the rules one last time, you start by rolling a knowledge, I think it's knowledge battle.
Knowledge battle,
battle. And successes take away a token from the opposing force, whoever has, like, it's an opposed roll. And you just dwindle down the numbers. And now as wild cards, you guys can also participate directly. And you can say, okay, well, you know, our forces are doing battle, but then we're also going to, you know, I'm going to cast a magic spell. I'm going to shoot them. I'm going to do ABC, etc. And you can also dwindle down their forces faster, even if you guys don't have the advantage that particular round. Say the enemy wins out and you guys lose your token, but, you know, you're going to, well, I'm going to hit them with a stun blast and take out some of their forces as well.
I've run a few of these. It's really fun.
Yeah.
So we will do that. And the only thing that knowledge battle, I feel like knowledge battle is like the worst. Who takes knowledge battle? But
yeah.
But we're all going to be rolling untrained, and at least they're not wild cards.
Yeah. All right. So for the, so, okay, cool. I don't know what I was going to say.
My only question is, if you guys have run these before, one of you guys has to roll it, obviously, and nobody's trained in it, so it doesn't really matter who. But would you allow an assist on this? And I know Bobby's listening, and he keeps popping up in the chat every once in a while. I'd like to hear what he thinks because he's.
Yeah. So basically, the way it works is essentially the heroes are rolling assists for the mass battle roll, or for the knowledge battle roll. That's essentially what we're doing. Success is a +1, I believe. A raise is a +2. We take less damage based on that. So yeah, we're basically doing assists. That's essentially what we're doing anyway.
You know what? Yeah. That's right. I just read it over one more time. Yeah, yeah. And then there's like damage that you guys take as a result of participating directly. Okay. All right. So let's so we'll give you guys the first action. What would your characters do to impact this? So the bikers pull up and they they're jumping off and they have guns drawn and they're probably, you guys are down the tracks a little bit, so you're in a safer position. They're probably like open fire on. Wait for me to unfreeze a little bit.
So what I would do in this case is, as he sees these guys coming, I'm going to stealth into the best position possible to not be seen in this situation. I got a success. So
okay. Yeah, so I'm going to say that you saw them coming up, and you guys are far enough away that you getting into cover, that will award you the drop if you take an action.
Okay, cool.
I mean, I'm going to roll a notice, but I really doubt they're going to see you. But yeah. Yeah, so you're able to slip in, and you're in a strategic you have the advantage. So
Now, is this pre-mass battle, or is this as the battle starts?
no, we'll call this the first round.
Okay, so I will take damage then.
Well, hold on. Let's say we'll call the stealth pre-battle. As they pull up, because before they're actually able to dismount and get like weapons drawn, you would have what we'd say one round to act. That seems more reasonable.
I'm going to run for cover inside the train.
Okay. Okay, yeah. I hadn't even thought about the train, but yeah, there would definitely be a train there.
And I'm going to look around for an engineer.
Sure. Yeah, you probably find one. I imagine they were going to do like a first like ride after like the press conference to like drive the train off down the tracks. Like,
say they're here to destroy this. You got to get this thing started and out of here.
Whoa, buddy! Whoa, I don't know. Who are you? Who are you?
Special Agent Timothy Older of the F.B.M. Show him my badge.
He's like, oh yeah, oh wait, listen, I'm gonna stop this. If you don't want to come with me, you better get off the train because 2 minutes, I'm out of here. And he takes off, towards the engineering compartment.
I'll follow him. Make sure I give him cover.
Okay.
Connor's in the shadows giving himself a pep talk.
And of course, I'm giving Connor a little update of what the plan is.
Yeah.
All right, so let's. So now we'll officially call this the first round of the battle,
Right.
and I don't think you draw initiative, right? It's all just sort of like whoever.
And that's how I've run it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all just adding bonuses before the actual roll is made.
So in my case, how I imagine this happening is he'll hide like kind of close to where they're coming. So as they come out, he pulls the staff that he has off of his back and leaps out of the darkness. Let's see. Hey, 16.
Wow.
So he leaps out of the darkness and just starts like knocking these guys, like clotheslining them off their motorcycles and knocking them off.
Yeah, so you jump out like a maniac, and you just you might have like they were facing the other way, and you just come out and you just do like this crazy like whirlwind, and that's so mechanically it's gonna give you a +2, and you're not gonna take any wounds.
Yeah,
and
the whole time mumbling to himself, "I am the shadows. I am the shadows," and he's like spinning the staff and knocking guys off.
Connor, is that it?
What was that? I'm sorry, John.
I said, hey, Connor, is that a spell?
And he'll be like, I am a spell. And then he like just keeps striking these guys.
I was frozen. All right, I am back because I keep freezing. I don't know what's going on with my internet connection. It's much worse than usual tonight. All right, so Tiger, what is Tiger going to do on his, if anything, to assist with the mass battle?
I'm actually
followed.
Yeah, I'm going to follow behind the engineer and make sure he does not take fire. I've got both. I guess I'll have the Beretta so I can shoot out the last of my magic if I need it.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, so more or less he'd be okay. Nobody is attacking him directly, or the train, or at least not that part of the train that you're in. If some stray bullets hit it, you're not aware of it currently. So I'm not going to rule that as an action, and I won't make you roll. Because all it does is open you up to get wounded. And I'm going to... Why don't I have one of you guys roll the knowledge battle? It's untrained for whoever. So I guess I'll just leave it up to... if one of you two wants to roll it. And then you're going to get a +2 to that.
Okay. I mean, so John, are you like... You're not really there right now, right?
No, not at the moment, unless the battle comes in the direction of the train.
All right, I'll roll it then.
Yep.
6.
Nice. I am rolling. I got a 1.
Oh, sorry.
So,
With the -2.
So 4. I still got a 1. So let's modify it into a 1. So let me just... Let's see. No. Bum, 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 bum. So what I am going to do is... Oh, you know what? I didn't add the modifier, but you still beat them because they have extra tokens, so they would get a +2 for having the advantage over you guys, but that doesn't matter. So I'm going to take 1 away. And then...
All right.
I'm just breezing over the rules. Sorry, guys. I read them before we started, and I was like, all right, I'm going to remember them, and I've never used them before, and I'm never going to remember them.
Train is going to go past where this melee is happening. I'll jump off it and hurl myself at one of the gangsters.
There you go. That's awesome.
Can I get a heroic Benny for that?
Yeah, if you're jumping out of a moving train, then yes. But let me roll. I have to roll the morale to see if they surrender now that Connor just went like wild and just like started knocking people in the head.
I imagine that he like shoved his staff in a few motorcycles, but like not suppose they're not bikes, but I mean they're bikes. I started to say like the spokes of the.
Well, no, they still have rims. It's just a little.
Yeah.
They have some.
So I imagine him flipping a guy or two off like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I rolled a 1 on my morale.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
But you know what? I'm gonna spend one of my bennies because we should at least make it 2 rounds before I fail my morale, right?
For mine, I got a success to just keep on fighting these guys the way I am. And
just a standard success?
Yeah, he's trying to keep them as close to him as possible because he doesn't want them pulling out guns.
Sure.
So he's just kind of hugging it, so to speak, as many of them as he can.
All right. So that's going to give you the +1, but we are going to take
3d6
damage in the process. And I got a 8.
Okay, cool. So I would be wearing my flak jacket. So let's see. 9 toughness. With the armor.
Perfect. All right, excellent. So, so you come in swinging, and they're sort of like they start to fight back with like hand to hand, and they're just
if they're
really
hand to hand, then it would be a 6. I was thinking guns. Sorry.
Oh,
7. So shaken, right?
Yeah, because I'm gonna say where you're coming in swinging, they probably would be. Because you reduce the range, they wouldn't be firing on you, but that doesn't negate your armor. So John, you're gonna jump out of a moving train
onto a guy.
Onto a guy. All right. Let's do it. So I guess that would be fighting. Roll that for me.
Oh lordy. I'm looking for agility.
Well, we can call it an agility trick.
Yeah.
I don't see why not, right? I mean, you would have, in the sense of mass battle, you wouldn't be killing him as much as like making this huge like spectacle.
Yeah.
But for the sake of mass battle, it works sort of the same way, where you'd be turning the tide of the battle. So I'm okay with that.
Okay, sounds good. That's better than D4. Oh, ooh, I got a failure. I can Benny that though.
You fortunate soul. Yeah, I wasted mine early.
It's still a failure. Ow, that's gonna hurt.
All right. Yeah. So a failure is gonna hurt.
4 to
Let's
6,
see.
I think.
Yeah, 4.
Dang.
Oh, I rolled pretty badly though. For 4d6 at least. 9.
And how much does the flak jacket give me?
It's not.
It's
Yeah.
only ballistic protection, right?
I think it's +2 for non, and then +4 if it's versus like.
Okay.
Oh.
7, so I'm shaken.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what happened to me. I'm shaken.
Yeah. So that's
spirit roll. I'm not shaken for this next round.
Yeah, and John, you can just make your spirit roll whenever, and because that's the end of the round, and we're all just sort of going in a round robin style. So you guys got a +1 that round for the battle. Again, thanks to Connor, just kung fuing everyone real hard. And I'm gonna roll the battle roll for the bikers, and then if somebody wants to roll for law enforcement with the +1.
All right.
And
I got a 6.
okay. I got a 3.
So I imagine this scenario with the knowledge battle roll. He's like calling out to the cops and like telling them where to move, and basically like taking charge of the situation, which is completely out of character at the moment. He's like trying to be in the zone here.
I'm in the zone.
I just imagine him like, hey, do like me. And
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so I'm gonna roll my morale, and if I botch this one, then we will be. They'll be fleeing. That they've been pummeled enough that they're just now that Tiger has jumped out of a moving train, and one guy's like bow staffing everyone, and the cops are probably just laying down suppressive fire because they're really lame local law enforcement. I succeeded. So we'll just move right into the next one as quick as we can. So I know we're starting to get a little bit late.
Yeah.
I made my spirit roll.
Okay.
And the next move, well, for Tiger will be to take his lighter Beretta, which may look like a gun to a lot of people, and pick a tightly packed crowd of the bikers and try to stun them.
All right.
Into submission with the flash bomb effect.
All right. And then while he's rolling here for mine for this one, what I'm actually picturing is he'll start like doing some more acrobatic stuff, so like flipping over guys and that sort of thing, kicking guys down, maybe running off of a motorcycle for a second. 16. Oh my gosh.
Nice.
That's awesome.
All right. So that is going to put you at a +2 with no wound. And John, how did we do?
Ooh, 8. 14.
Nice. So we are at a +4.
Oh yeah.
And nobody was wounded. So this may be the one that ends it all. So let's roll our opposing battle knowledge, and whoever rolls it on your side will be at a +4.
Yeah. John, I've been doing it. You want to do it?
Sure. I'll take the radio.
Yeah.
I froze, so I don't know if you read your results yet, but I did not. Okay.
8, 12. This die is incredible. 13.
I'm gonna have to borrow those dice. I got a 3, so you're 10 up on me, which is 2. They lose 2 more tokens. They have to make the morale check at a -2 for losing 2, and so we'll see how they do. So yeah, they got a 1. So after the stun blast goes off and this big wave of energy comes out and plows through the bikers, and I don't know if it's physically tangible, but if it is, like knocks over some bikes on the way too. I imagine it's like big wave of like percussion, just like wipes everything out, and the ones that are left standing probably get up and just either grab their bikes or just literally take off on foot if they're not able to get back to their bikes. So that's a few of them are left straggling around, and they're probably picked up quickly by the local law enforcement, and they're going to be taken in, questioned, and booked, and major crisis averted, more or less.
Cool.
It wasn't.
Say, hey, Stone, it must be a full moon because my magic worked a little more powerful than it should.
and I'll just like with a smile, he says, "So did mine," and then he'll like whack a guy that's like crawling away with his staff. Yeah. I imagine it's a large metal rod, so.
I'll tell the
That's
mayor
awesome.
he can call the train back, carry on with the ceremony.
And then we will limp away to get a beer. Job well done.
Yeah, so you guys got a big write-up in the paper, local hero saved the day, and magic is once again vilified in the minds of the civilians. And all's well that ends well, more or less. And
we can end it with Older at his desk trying to track down what other event happened this night, because this was obviously the distraction to something
bigger, of course. Beautiful. Beautiful.
That's great. That's perfect. So we went quite a bit over our regular time. I thank you guys for sticking it out till the end. I will say 1 hour it's tough to write it and plan it, but I appreciate your patience, and I'll see everybody next time. I'm just gonna do a quick sign off, but if you guys want to drop out now, I totally understand.
Yep.
For the people viewing and listening, thank you for being with us. I hope you enjoyed this episode of our 1 hour adventure for our urban fantasy setting. If you do, make sure you let us know. Like, comment, share, subscribe, stop by Facebook or G+, join the community. Let us know what you think. We're happy to hear from you. And join us again in 2 weeks where we'll be talking about sci-fi.
Cool.
All right, that's it for today, I guess.
Happy Memorial Day.
Yep. See you.